Welcome back, friends. So we resume with the second part of the first chapter, the fun they had. When we left the chapter, we were discussing about the new teacher introduced by the county inspector. The previous teacher was replaced with a new teacher. Now, why Margie doesn't like all these teachers? So the reason is these teachers actually are taking test and again test, and she doesn't like to give the test. So let's see the reason why she doesn't like it. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put her homework and test papers. Nobody likes to give tests, nobody likes to do the homework, as you all know very well. So even the future children will not also be exceptional cases. She doesn't like that the computer teacher always takes what some test and always gives what some lot of homework. She always had to write them out in a punch code. It's a new way of giving the test. The way we give the MCQ test, future children will have to punch some code over there just to give the answer of the questions. So that is also a hindrance against writing practice. The future children might not be having the practice of writing things, and they might forget how to write. They simply have to work upon punching the codes. So even the pen will be out of date. See, a lot of skills we will lose once the computer are introduced in our room as teachers. She always had to write them out in a punch code. They made her learn when she was 6 years old. Right from the very 6th year, right from the very beginning of the studies, she had been habitant of what writing or giving the exams by using punch codes. And the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. Once you give the test, you feel very relaxed. However, until the marks come, you are relaxed. No need to worry. When the marks come, કોડી લેશું આપણે. ત્યાં સુધી તો શાંતિ. But અહીંયા એવું નથી. The moment you submit the test, the marks are generated. And you have to be ready for getting scolding from what your parents. Very ruinous. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. This petting may be the petting of consolation, encouragement. Might be a nice fella. Very kind one. He said to her mother, see, this is his favoring Margie. Okay, he's reducing marks, not maybe the fault of Margie. It may be the computer teacher geared up a little higher to her level. See, that is also a facility in the future schools. In the same child at the same year, at the same age, in the same kind of standard, child might be having some different abilities of learning. And according to their ability, according to what their speed, their tempo, the gears can be adjusted. The speed level can be adjusted of what learning. That is a benefit to child. But that also might bring child back to some slack way of learning. They might be very slowed down. They might use this convenience as an easy way to get out of what that particular tumbling studies. So plus points are there, minus points are there. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother, it is not the little girl's fault. Mrs. Jones is the mother of Margie. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. Geography sector had a bit faster. It's a bit above level toward Margie. The teaching was quite faster and Margie was a slow learner. So it was not matching to Margie's learning speed. Those things happen sometimes. I've slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Margie is a matter of fact 11-year-old. but her capacity is to learn up to 10-year-old child. So it is just reduced to 10 year. That is very, well, at first sight, it looks to be very convincing, very much convenient. But it has also got some minus points. It can make you lazy. It can stop you working hard. It can just stop you a little from putting some hard efforts. I've slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Actually, the overall pattern of our progress is quite satisfactory. And he patted Margie's head again. This again pat. The first pat was consolation. This pat is now encouragement. So this is a gesture from the county inspector having mended that particular computer teacher. Now he's just going away. Margie had to learn again the things. Margie was disappointed because he has got the teacher again. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. She hoped like this because she already had seen it with somebody else. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. So she hoped her teacher is also now broken down. So it might take some time to get him back to the functioning. So she felt that she would be away from study for a long time. And she was quite relaxed, but it didn't really happen. She was very disappointed. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" Now this is again a scornful tone of voice. She cannot digest anyone should write anything about school because people would like to write what they like to deal with. School is something they really hated. So why should somebody write about something that they really won't hate? This is the mentality behind this kind of school. Now Tommy had got all the answers. More than that, he had the book and he knew something more than Margie. So he had given a superior look, the look that you give when you know something better than the others. He answered, "Because it is not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that hundreds and hundreds of years ago." He added loftily in the sense very proudly, in a very superior way, because he knew everything, pronouncing the word carefully centuries ago. Well, he knew something that happened centuries ago. Margie was very hurt. She was hurt for two reasons. She didn't know about the school centuries ago, and she doesn't also like to discuss anything about the school. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while as Tommy holding the book, and he was not giving it to Margie. So Margie was actually looking over the shoulder of whom? Tommy, and trying to read from the book. Then she said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. Now, for these future children, the regular teacher is a computer. For us, the regular teacher is what? A human teacher. So he said they hadn't regular teacher, means they didn't have computers. They had a man as a teacher. So she is again surprised. A man? How could a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls. Malab, now he explains what a man teacher used to do. Completely different thing. Right now we have to explain how a computer can work as a teacher. You must be surprised. Sir, a computer can be a teacher? Yes, computer can be a teacher. I have to explain how it works. In that particular time, I have to explain. The teacher, the one has to explain how a man teacher used to function. So now he explains. A man isn't smart enough. Margie objected. Sure he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. Margie objected. Man is smart enough and as smart as what? A computer. He knows almost as much. I betcha. Informally, I bet I'm sure enough to claim on that. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. They were not habitant of having any other people from the outside to be in their house because they're habitant of having only computer in the house. And the thought, okay, teacher must be inside the house and must teach from the house itself. They never knew about the school building. So just to inform her, Tommy screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. That is a special building and all the kids went there. And all the kids learned the same thing. Again, she was surprised because as you know, geography section was geared a little below to the level of Margie. But in this way, the subjects, the speed, anything can be adjusted. And every single child had a special need. And accordingly, the computers can be adjusted. But in regular school, it doesn't happen. Whether somebody of 90%, whether somebody of 35%, they are taught in the same speed, they are assessed or examined in the same fashion. There is a limitation of what are school. So there are plus and minus points are there. Sure, if they were the same age. But my teacher says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and the girl. It teaches that each kid has to be taught differently. That is very must. I liked this line very much. This is the plus point of the future school, and this is the minus point of what the current school, the school we study right now. Every child has got different abilities. They are taught differently. You must be remembering that Darshil Safari wali film, Tare Zameen Par. So the child was intelligent, but he had a different interest, so he would be taught in a different way. But our schools don't have that facilities. Just the same, they didn't do it that way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. Malab, Tommy was a bit gratified. He was looking a bit arrogant. And he knew Margie was very curious. So he was looking very superior and giving very curt and very rude answers. So just to get some more information, Margie surrendered and she said, I didn't say I didn't like it. She wanted to read about those funny schools. Further, Tommy said, they weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called. Margie, school. School means they didn't have to go to school. School means it is their time to go to their room where they can start the computer and the school is on. Margie looked up, not yet, Mama. She is not prepared to go to school. She doesn't like it. Now, said, this is an orderly tone and it is probably time for Tommy too. Tommy, you also go to your home. Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? Again, very arrogantly, very curtly replied, however, maybe. That was answered nonchalantly. Nonchalant nahi karwanu. He didn't show much interest, much enthusiasm. If you don't want to do something with others and you still have to say yes, but your lack of interest is very shown clearly, that is called as nonchalantly. He walked away whistling. That again shows what is arrogance. The dusty old book tucked beneath his arm, tucked just held in his armpit. Margie went into the schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom, and the mechanical teacher was on the waiting for her. It was always on that same time. I can come late in the class. It may take 10 minutes after the bell rung. But the computer always starts with a reminder. It's never late, so you can never get the chance to talk and enjoy that slack hours between what two lectures. It is the benefit of the live class. There is a hindrance of the computer class. And he always was very regular except Sunday and Saturday. Why this computer was on right time? Because her mother always believed students should always learn at the right time in the regular hours. The screen was lit up and it said today's arithmetic lesson. It is like in a computer voice, the way the robots speak. See, there is again a hindrance. I can just have some intonations, some articulation, some rising and falling of tones. I can also just move my hands, my eyes also what function. Well, my whole body actually what involved in teaching. But as far as what a computer teacher is concerned, it is all mechanical. They also speak in a very interestless, very monotonous tone. Today's arithmetic lesson is on addition of proper functions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot. Margie did so with a sigh. Bhai le le hal, man banawa. That is a sigh of panic. That is a sigh of lack of interest, boredom. And while submitting the papers, she was not concentrating on what the computer teacher was teaching. See, same thing might happen. Right now I'm speaking to you, but I don't know what you're doing inside your house. Some people, some students might be concentrating, some are not. Some might be doing something else using the other hand, and I cannot actually watch them. So I don't have any control over you people. Same thing happens with the computer teachers. Barabar, she was submitting the papers and pretending that she was listening to what the teacher, but she was actually thinking something else. She was thinking about the old schools, and now she looks to be jealous of the students of the old school, you people. Barabar, because you get the chance to meet your friends, to go together to the schools, study with the same kind of what age students. If you have the problem, you can share. And school is actually the miniature of society. So apart from learning, you also learn some societal traits being in the school. So being a social animal, one has to be among the society. And school provides a very good society. So these schools are much better than what the computer school, the futuristic school. And this is realized by Margie. You should also realize that. So now stop abusing schools. Stop hating schools. But start loving your school. These schools might be having number of limitations, but only one benefit, that is it makes you social. It makes you friendly with the others. It inculcates some societal traits into you. That is the most beneficial part of your learning. Using that school, obviously. All the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the classroom, going home together at the end of the day. They learned the same things so that they could help one another with the homework and talk about it. Oh, and the teachers were not computer teachers, were human being teacher, human teacher, full of sympathy, full of concern. They can be connected with you by heart. You can share your problems apart from study with them. They can recognize your problems by watching your face. A lot of understanding, a lot of bonds can be created. It is not possible with the computer teacher. And the teachers were people. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen when we had fractions 1/2 and 1/4 and blah blah blah. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So now you can understand the fun they had. There means the children of pastime. For Margie, you people. And you must be having some fun at the school that you go, in a building where a human teacher comes and teach you. So this is really a fun. This kind of school on computers by a computer teacher is never fun. This is what the fun they had. I hope you must have enjoyed it. I'll come to you next time with the question answer of what? The first chapter. So you read the chapter, note down the difficult words, ask any query if you have. You can also have the meeting using Zoom and can discuss your doubts. We can also discuss question answers. I'll assign you some homeworks. First, I'll discuss the question answer and get back to you with some homework that you have to submit via WhatsApp by writing it in a notebook. Thank you very much. Again, we'll meet.